Okay, hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to JFD Brokers Traders Tea Time with me, Darius Onchauskas. Today is the 3rd of August 2018, so welcome everyone. Welcome to this Friday's afternoon session where we're going to have a look at a few instruments which I believe are developing quite nicely right now. But before we do that, let's quickly have a read through our risk disclaimer. So the content we produce does not constitute investment advice or investment recommendation, should not be considered as such, and does not in any way constitute an invitation to acquire any financial instrument or product. As always, a few seconds for you to read the rest and we can continue. Also, just a very quick reminder of our JFD Brokers research page, where you can go in and have a look at different analysis that we do on a daily basis. Yep, we throw our different trading technical analysis, and of course our daily report that we produce every morning. So yep, feel free to check us out, and I believe you can find something useful here for yourselves, guys. So, but for now, let's jump into the charts. Now, the first one I want to look at with you guys is the FTSE 100. Now, certainly, as you can see from today, we're having quite a nice day here. The previous 2 days were marked by heavy selling, but we've managed to regain some of the lost grounds here on the FTSE, and we can see this one getting lifted today, but still below this this rising channel formation. So, as you can see that we were moving nicely within it higher, and but then we broke it on Thursday, and today we're now testing the lower side of the channel. Certainly the question here is, are we going to end up moving back into it, or are we going to just stay here below it? Yep, if we do stay below this, now certainly this still raises concerns about the potential upside, where we could maybe see next week we would see FTSE moving a little bit lower again, maybe actually even towards this little level right here. And as you probably guessed it correctly, you can see that we got some sort of a range here, even though I understand that we had a nice we had a break here this week. We had a move higher, but then actually we quickly moved back down into it. So in a way, you could look at this as a little range here that we've got between the 7710 and the 7510, about a 200-point range. So if this, like I said, if this index stays below this channel here, below this rising channel, we could maybe see a potential move lower next week, maybe even, like I said, testing this 7510, and slightly below that we do have the 200 EMA as well crossing here, passing by, and this could be a nice potential area for a test. But like I said, only if we see a reversal back down next week from this one, and if we see a nice good close below this channel this week as well. So yep, so keep an eye on it, guys. Keep an eye on this level for today. Let's see if it wants to get back into it, or will it actually stay lower here, below this rising channel. Let's jump into another index quickly, and that's S&P 500. Now you can see that yesterday it looked like that we're gonna move lower, but we opened with a big gap here, but quickly managed to fill it and close the day with a strong daily candle. So now at the moment it seems that it wants to continue pushing higher. Certainly keep an eye on this level right here, the highs that we saw here around the 25th of July, and that's approximately around the 28.48 mark. Now if we do get a nice touch of this area today, all eyes are on this, of course, on the close, if we're gonna get a break or not. And this is in the scenario if we get a continuation here to the upside today. Certainly judging by this, we could maybe see some sort of a move higher. If we actually jump into a weekly candle here and just zoom in a little bit here, we can see that the week is currently positive, and this is the question, the big question: are the bulls going to remain in control this week, or actually the bears will kick in later and maybe drive this index a little bit lower? So for now, certainly the cards are the good cards are with the bulls, and we could see maybe this one traveling a little bit higher again. But like I said, keep an eye on this 28.48 mark. We might get a test of it today. Let's jump into one commodity or precious metal that is developing quite interestingly right now. So basically, I was talking about this one this morning as well, and we saw a nice move lower yesterday. We saw finally we saw this break of the 1215 level, and as you can see today we've managed to test the 1205 level as well that I was talking about. Now the 1205 has been a nice good strong area of support here seen last July, and it acted as a very good one from which very good support from which the precious metal kind of reversed back to the upside here, and we managed to kind of go all the way here towards the 1350s. So at this point in time, of course, keep an eye, continue monitoring this level here, and specifically the 1215. As you can see, we're testing that level right now. If we stay above this level, if we stay above the 1215, this could be a positive sign for gold, and we could see maybe a continuation move higher next week. Of course, this week is gonna probably stay around here, but next week we could see a further acceleration here in the price if we get a nice close here above the 1215 level. So keep an eye on today's close, guys. Let's see what it wants to do with it. If, let's say, this moves back down here and we close below the 1215 level, certainly the main area to watch next week will be, of course, this area between the 1205 and the 1215, as this is going to be probably the important one to watch, because if we get a break below the 1205, now this could open the path towards this level right here at around 1195. Now of course, on the way towards the 1195, if it could meet, well, it would meet the psychological 1200 level. But like I said, the good one still to watch is the 1195, because that one was marked here by the low that we saw in March 2017. So very strong area of support, potential support, of course, but only if we get a break here below the 1205. But at the moment, like I said, it doesn't seem to be the case. I mean, at the moment, all eyes are on this 1215 level, and of course today's close, and let's see where it wants to finish the day. Let's jump into one of the pairs now quickly, and the first one I want to touch on is, of course, the euro dollar. Now the euro dollar had a nice push just before the NFPs came out, and you probably are aware the US job numbers came out, so everything was almost in line. Well, everything was actually in line with expectations, but apart from the job creation itself, so there was a bit less than expected, but nevertheless it was quite a good report, and still we saw this one, the euro dollar initially pushing higher here, but now as you can see that the buyers are coming back into the dollar, and the euro USD is getting pushed back down towards this key area of support that we had marked here, the 115.75. so keep an eye on it, guys. Keep on watching this level. This is going to be the key one for today. If we're going to get a close below this level, below the 15.75, now this could be a good red flag here for the bulls, and they could start abandoning this pair and in favor of the bears, and the bears could drive it back down here towards the 115.10 mark, approximately there, which, as you are probably aware, we are stuck here in the bigger picture. We are stuck here in this range between the 115.100 and the 118.40 400. So certainly all eyes are on this lower side here. Let's see if it actually breaks this 115.75 today and moves lower again and stays below it and closes below it, or actually will decide to remain above it, and yep, which would probably confuse us for the beginning of next week, because we could initially see maybe a reversal back to the upside, but to be honest, until it would remain below this 116.200, we would class that as a correction from which it could move lower, the pair could move lower again. So let me just put some arrows here. So this could be a possible scenario if, let's say, if the pair remains and closes today above the 115.75. Like I said, this could be something for next week, a scenario like this. But if we close below this, below the 115.75, well, keep your eyes, like I said, keep your eyes on this lower bound of the range at around 115.100. Certainly, if we get to this point, we will just evaluate the pair once more. One more pair I really wanted to show you guys, and that's GBPJPY. Certainly, again, before the NFP release, we were moving higher. We can see that we've tested this support line here, this very short-term support line. We tested that from underneath. This support line has been running here since around the 28th of June, and from which we quickly retraced back down. The bears kind of took control here. We broke this key area of support at around 145.15 mark, and now it seems that it wants to continue pushing lower. And certainly, of course, all eyes are on this level today. Let's see if it stays below it or not. But for now, of course, judging by this current picture, it seems that, yep, it could continue pushing lower and could continue. It could close the day below this level right here. Let me just quickly highlight that for you guys. And that's the one that we're watching for today. So, certainly, if this reverses back to the upside and if it stays above this 145.15, this raises concerns about the potential downside. But nevertheless, we could maybe, for us to become more bullish on this one, let's say, we would need to see a nice good move back up here above this short-term support line, but also above this 145.65 level, and this is where we could start examining higher levels. So a good one could be this one right here, around 146.50, and then above, of course. But at the moment, that's slightly off the table, and this is, so if it continues to drop lower, if the GBPJPY continues to drop lower, this is something to keep an eye on as well. Just let me quickly draw this another slightly well, this is probably medium term support line here, and this is how it's looking with this one. This is how it looks with this one, and this is where we could start looking for a possible test, and we could see a test of this upside support line that has been running here since around the 29th of May, approximately there. So we could see a move towards that level, we could see a test of that level, and of course eventually, if this holds, we could see a bounce off of it for a bit of a correction before, let's say, if it would move lower again and decide to break this support line. So for now, all eyes are on this. All eyes are on this support line, and also this little level right here at around 144.40. So which also coincides with this upside support line. And the last pair that I really wanted to touch on, guys, and that's NZDUSD. Now quickly, let's jump into a daily chart here. So as you can see on the daily picture, it's slightly better picture here, and let me just shift it a little bit higher. There we go. So we're stuck in here, we're stuck in this range here between the 0.6850 and the 0.6690 levels. So, but initially it looked like that we're going to continue pushing lower, maybe even towards this lower side of the range, but as you can see, we got held here. The pair got held here by this short-term upside support line that has been running here since the 2nd of July. Now, the big question here is today, are we going to remain above it, or are we actually going to break it and close below? Now, if we do get a close below this upside support line, now you could probably expect further declines going into next week, and where we could actually test the 0.6690 level, this lower side of this range that I've got here. But like I said, if we get a nice rejection here from this upside support line, and the pair decides to close above it, then this could be interesting for the bulls. And probably we could see maybe a reversal back to the upside here, but to be honest, the big buying from the bulls could start here at around this 0.6765 0.6765 mark, to apologize. So this is the level to watch, especially, like I said, if we get a nice break here above and a close above this level. Now this is where more bulls could start jumping in, and we could see maybe this one traveling all the way back towards this level right here at around 68.50. So okay guys, thank you very much for watching and listening. I hope you found it useful, and as always, I hope you have a good US session for those who are trading the US session, and for those who are finished for today, have a wonderful weekend and see you on Monday. Bye bye guys.